What's going on, YouTube? Appreciate y'all tuning in. In this video, we we dropped a lot of gems. Honestly, we dropped a lot of gems. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, and any other topics you want me to go over, hey, put them down there. So let's get it, y'all. What we can see from here is we have Euro GBP, and Euro GBP right now is in what stage? 3. Why did I say that? Is because we have stage 1, got stage 2, and then now we got stage 3 that has been around. So it's in stage 3 right now, right? This would be our stage 4. So as we can see, also that corresponded here. Stage 3 got up here, got your 2 right here, got your 4, came right back to 1. So this is how you got to look at the market, because this right here is what's going to really make you different from a lot of different traders, is looking at market cycles. Market cycles are probably the number one thing you need to look at before looking at your trend lines and things like that. The market cycle is going to depend on the move of the market. So that's basically the best way to start your, analysis off, is looking at your stage, right? And the best way you could really do that is basically going to a higher time frame. And when you're in a higher time frame, you're able to basically see the bigger picture, you know. So this is a bigger picture. These are over maybe a years and whatever the case. So you're looking at a big spectrum for a reason, right? And once you start to go into lower time frames, it kind of starts depleting. But every site or every time frame has a cycle. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be putting my support resistance, and what we can see even from this, we have a resistance at this high and we have a support at this low, right? But if we also look at where price is currently, which is right here, we can see that it's been going down since it's hit that last high. So the only place that we should be looking for is a support. A lot of people may see this area as a support too. It's a very kind of strong area too. But we can see currently, which is this month, since we're now on the monthly, you can see this month right now, it's just been continuing to, go bearish. We got a wick to the high of it, and we just, ended up coming down that wicks right here. So basically, what I'm seeing in this, if we can identify our stages on here, what we could do is we can basically look at from here on the monthly, and we could see also 1, 2, it tried to go up. It also failed here. So came down below this area. So it already basically saying that, nah, I don't want to go more up. Once this happened, and once this rejection happened also, which is also due to past history, but that sometimes, can be invalid sometimes. But this is really the reason why I didn't want to go more up, because it rejected so much. It was below this area and it kept on rejecting, this, you would say this is support and this is a resistance. So how can we determine that again? We got a support. Price was going up on this area, so support equals a buy, and our resistance equals a sell. So if we're hitting a ceiling, something that doesn't want to go any more higher, that's when you're knowing price wants to continue to go down. Okay. So now that we're identifying this from a monthly perspective and a high perspective, we want to put in support and resistance within the month, or you can find it within whatever time frame you're using. But what we can use and what we can do in this whole case, right, before even going into, I know this is a lovely spot for a lot of people, the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30. I don't know why people do that. I just don't know what it is. But what we want to do now is we want to find our support and our resistance, right? So we have a support that's here at this low, and then we have a resistance, as we said before. What would we call this? Right. We would call that a resistance. So at the end of the day, we're still going down, still going down. Price is still going down. And at that time, all we got to do is look for an area to get into this market. So what you can even do is, even for a sooner entry into this, you can see that support resistance. This is now the 4 hour. So support resistance going in within this area too, right? Support resistance, support resistance, support resistance, right? And then look what it came back for support and came right back up. And now look. And if we now look at what's really happening, you can see that those cycles, like I was saying, stage 1, 2, your 3, your 4. So, and back to your 1. So it goes like that: 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see that's consistently on the market, right? You can see that just off of what I drew all right here. So if we all know that from a higher perspective, now we can continue with this market to come down, right? So basically what I would want to do in this situation, I'm going to want to have a support, something that is wanting price to go up. I'm wanting that to actually break, give us a closing candle search. Like this is a closing candle. All these are closing candles. So if we get a closed candle below this area, right? If we get a closed candle below this area, then we'll be continuing to the downside, right? We'll see price continue to the downside, however it wants to go. If it wants to go very volatile, or if it just wants to, take its time, or whatever the case. So now what we can do to take profits, to find, I'm not a stop loss person. So if you're a stop loss person, that's something you might want to look into. Might want to look into, certain things like that, because that's probably stopping you from succeeding to a high degree. As much as people might say, oh, use a stop loss and things. And yeah, that's another day for another story. So, but right in this case, right, what we want to do is look for the near support and where are we going to get a take profit. So in this area, when we're trying to get a take profit, we're needing to find the next support. So if this is a support, where's something that looks like this on the chart in between this area to your left? Okay, so what I could see, I see this area, I see this area. Price broke and continued to go also up at this time. So I'm going to first take the take profit right here, right? So as I said, support is when price started to want to go up. But if we're still continuing up, then, that's a support also. That's a trend line, and that gives it support too. But also if we have a trend line going, from this high to this low, this is called resisting the trend line. So support the trend line and resist the trend line. Okay. And that's how you basically know about support resistance, even on we just know when support's going up, and when, resistance is always going down, just off of that simply. Okay. And from there, what we can do is find, like I said, that support. Let's put our horizontal in there. Right. So now we're on, like I said, Euro, GBP. This is only about 60, not say only, but this is about 63 pips, 62 pips. Okay. To this level. And this is on a weekly. So if we were to take this full stretch also, which we'll get into, let me Not get ahead of myself. But now what I was going to say is, what is the next area you believe is after this area going to be, if we're still continuing to go down, right? Is this area. This is your last area for support, which is like the most highest support we have right here, right? Because price started here before it even wanted to go up, right? So this is the beginning of that stage one, like I was saying. So we need to see if we get to that stage one around this area. And from there, we can basically see what we want to do there, right? So for our entry, now let me go back down to the 4 hour and let me talk about this entry. So like I was saying about this close of this candle should be your entry. Or, if you want to, which you will have to honestly think about some pendings too, because a pending could hit and just, do the same. But I like pendings because I don't like to be present. I don't like to be trading consistently on my charts. I love trading and everything, but it's not required for me to be on my charts all the time. So that's basically why I do this. So what we could do from here is why I just can't stand being on the charts. That was kind of my amateur days. So when you get too much on the charts, also it becomes, obviously you start to dream in the beginning, you start to dream and you start to think of so much charts and you start to want to actually get this right. It's very difficult for people to understand that. It's very simple though. It's not really what it's made for. So, how people say to study the charts um every day for 12 hours. Like I did that, right? But once I've gotten to a professional level, I understood that. And everyone that I was coached, it's not about that. Like the results come out of very and I would say the results come in a longer term, which is always the best way to actually get your money, because the quick money is just not going to get you money. It's just not. It's just not. So the intraday traders out there, the scalpers out there, all those people that are, deceiving you with you're making all this money. At the end of the day, like if we put a swing trader and a scalper or an intraday's ballot all together and see what their balance, how their trades, the more consistent is going to be the swing trader. Hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You have to understand when you're getting in your trades consistently on a frequent basis, there's also potential for you to lose also. So that percent that you believe, oh yay, I'm good, I got it. Like you really, at the end of the 4 months, you look and you're like, man, let me look back 2 months ago, and you've had not as much profit as you thought you had, because now you're frequently, consistently, always wanting to put your money in the market. The best way to let it grow is to let that entry flow and hit your take profit, and then from there, you know, execute for the next plan. But that's how it needs to be. It shouldn't be you consistently on your market. That's just, if you're on the charts consistently, you need to get off that mindset like ASAP. ASAP. It's not going to really, it's not going to make anything good at you. You start getting gray hairs. You start to actually lose sense of going out and having fun with friends, or even going out and having, a fun time in the, uh, anywhere, or wanting to actually do something, because you're always grinding on the chart, and the chart's just sucking your life away. The best way to do it, just let it run. Just let it do its thing. It's just the best way to go. So basically, what I'm letting you know is, in this entry, you have to let it go. Even though price is, how much pips we have, even to the low, 70 pips. And this might be a swing for you guys, but in cash flow society inside our Discord, we're always catching pips. Like we're always catching 600, 200. Shit, we're always, even on the NAS and the SPX US 30. Like we're making this real money on on these, on these charts, but you have to understand you have to hold your positions. You have to be ready to hold them. And that comes also with the risk. And your risk management is also going to deter if you're going to win and lose in this game. You know, that's what's really going to determine a lot in this game for you at the end of the day. So let's get our TP, which will be that 0.83 area. And this is a month chant. This is on the month chart. So this can take some time to get to that area, but just know during time it's going to hit your take profit. Just stay patient. Even when you're in drawdown and you see on the higher time frame that you're still okay and price is still valid, don't go on a lower time frame thinking that your trade's doing bad because you're looking now on a lower time frame. No, it's just letting price just has to let it do its thing. And you might even tamper with that. So you have to understand, just let it ride, let it ride, let it ride. It's probably the best thing that you can do as a trader. Probably the best thing you can do. Okay. And then from there, we're going to probably see what we got to do for our next, right? But you have to understand also that this market, this game that we play, it's also all mental. The way that you're living, the way that your situation is, the way that you think of money is also going to be the way that you perceive this market, or you perceive the way that this game is. Because if you're a person that is struggling or needing money instantly or wanting money instantly, or that type of person that thought that mm, getting money fast was the best way, then you're going to go toward a scalping kind of mindset. And then from there, you might get some wins, but you might get some losses. But at the end of the day, you haven't progressed heavy as what you believe, because you have to change who you are as a person when you become a real trader. That you have to change who you are when you become a real trader. And it's not a title of you being a trader, it's just someone having the knowledge of the market. So you have that trait, right? So understand, like, it's a mental game, and it's and also with the intraday traders, a lot of people from intraday community, they like to, flaunt their money and everything. I'm gonna be honest, like, it's cool and it's awesome. It's cool, and it helps your what you feel like you wanted and everything. But I'm gonna be honest, at the end of the day, your legacy is everything that you really want to really flourish, more than materialistic things. Those things you can't really, that can barely be passed on. So this is what this game should really be about: passing this information on to your generations, passing this shit on to your family. Or if that's not the case and they don't have the capability, for you to even take control and you to be the one to break the generational curse, or you to, think outside the box than that everybody didn't. So you got to understand, this game is a lot different, once you start thinking in that perspective too. And that's why I swing trade. That is exactly why I swing trade, because I don't need to get money fast now. Definitely now, I don't need it, because I became a millionaire through this game. And the reason why I became a millionaire through this game is because I've actually been patient. I've been patient through this whole thing. And that becomes a mindset that you have to really endure. And when I get very passionate about that, because a lot of people don't really understand what it takes to even be patient with life, or just with opportunities, and you have to understand, those are the moments. Like, those are the moments, man. No, those are the moments that you need to take control of. Once you understand these things are in the way of your success, or have been in the way, and you start to succeed, and don't go back to those old habits. Don't go back to those old crews. Don't go back to old mindset that you were thinking. You need to stay in a very vigilant mind, definitely on this, definitely on the market, because this will and can take a lot from you, not just mentally, but also, you know, just mentally mostly, but monetarily, monetarily. So if we can see on this, now we could check what are they going to be the stages. And if we're on the monthly and we're looking on a higher time frame, what was I saying before, right? So if we see support, resistance, where is the next support and where is the next resistance, right? So this is the monthly, you could say support, and this was a resistance, right? So this was a resistance, price came down, price went up, right? So what would you believe this would be? Okay. So this is the beginning of a stage two. This is where the best money is made in the market. When you're on a stage two, that becomes a continuation. That's a continuation. That's a bullish move, right? That's a bullish market. So if we have a bullish market, what we can do is look for buys, right? When we're looking for a buy, we're looking for price to break a resistance to go up, not like how it was for we're breaking a support. We're breaking now a resistance. We're wanting price to go up, right? So at that case, right, we have a resistance. We find our nearest resistance. This is on our monthly, right? Find our nearest resistance and our support. So if we could see more recently how price came from this area, and how it's just sitting in this zone. So what that gives me a great indication is that this price is going to continue up. We even see that price is higher on this than what it was before. And then from there, what we can see is we got a resistance where price started to also not wanting to do its thing, at that area. So it resisted that area where it had also support. Now, where we could find that is exactly where we need to find now our next area. So at this area, this would be a take profit, and this would be a take profit. And this is for the long term. So this is on the monthly. And so you can see that GBPUSD is definitely on a buy. It's definitely going to be buying possibly for a couple months, right? So there we go. Now we got some swings going on. Okay. And from there, like I said, your mindset and your risk management needs to be on point. That's the thing right now. That's once you enter those trades, make sure your risk management before even entering that trade is on point, and make sure your mindset is on point with that too. Hey, appreciate y'all tuning in. I had a lot of fun making this video. If y'all like what y'all seen, hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm going to be doing this a lot. So put that notification button on too. And we lit. Let's get it.